There we go. And then I will share my screen. Let's go here and here. Okay. And this takes me just a second. Slideshow. I'm beginning. And welcome to our October first meeting in October. We are now in the last quarter of the year, so it is time to definitely hunker down here. I'm going to get started. Let me let a couple more people in here. Welcome. Yeah. Okay. And so let me minimize this again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. We've got some good things in store for today. And so I think we will start with Miss Stacy. Give me your microphone here.
Okay. Hi, Stacy from Legendary Escrow. Can't believe it's October already, but just wanted to remind all of you guys that the tax bill should be coming out. And a lot of sellers, when they get their estimates, want to know why they're being charged for the most of it, but it goes, the first installment runs from July 1st to December 30th. So your sellers will get the major of the prorations right now. So just a heads up on that, and they'll be shocked when they have to pay it, but they're going to have to pay it. If you're going to run into a closing that's closer to December 10th, just make sure that we get the payment so that we can correspond with title so that they don't have to double pay or do a holdback. And then if any of you guys haven't used us, we're right next door. We'd love to earn your business, and that's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. And does anybody not understand what she was just talking about? Property taxes, you know, they're due December 10th again. And so a lot of times, you know, the county is slow. The county is slow. So if they just pay them directly to the county, they may not be registered as title or insurance. So it really needs to go through escrow. So just make sure when you're in escrow, you really have open communication with your escrow officer to make sure that everything's on track. You have what you need, property taxes, let the seller know. If you've not already paid your property taxes, make sure you coordinate it with escrow. And then that way it's smooth sailing and you'll have less problems. Okay, I also, let me see, I think I saw Karen McMenemy. Karen, are you on the call now?
I am here. Thank you.
I thought I saw you. Welcome. Happy October.
Happy October. Can you guys believe it? It's crazy how fast this year has gone by. But I guess that's a good thing. We want it gone. New year.
That's right.
Karen McMenemy with American Home Shield Home Warranty and NHD. I wanted to introduce you guys to a new product today. We've got some great stuff we just released. We have an electronics plan warranty that covers all the electronics in the home that we've partnered with a company called Allstate Protection Plans. And we're really, really excited about this. We were trying to bring this out a couple of years ago and it never came to fruition. So we're really excited to introduce this finally. This plan is going to cover all the electronics in the home, with the exception of like cell phones, you know, things like that already have their own insurance. But it covers things like tablets, desktops, laptops, printers, home theater systems, smart home systems like your smart door locks, your Nest thermostats, smart security cameras, all kinds of really cool stuff. It even covers your accessories for your computers, like your headphones, your Apple Watches, things like that. So we're really excited about this. And the cost on this is $240 for the year. You can add it on to any home warranty. It does have to be paired with an American Home Shield home warranty. It cannot be a standalone product. And it covers unlimited electronics, you guys. It covers whether they have 5 or 25, and anything that they buy new during the contract is covered. It also covers some great things that the manufacturer warranties don't cover, like power surges. We've had a couple of those lately here in the desert. So really, really good stuff, you guys. We're really excited about this. So if you're interested in this and you want more information, reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat. But again, it's $240 for the year, covers unlimited electronics. You know, they still have the service fee whenever they place service. It's done through a third-party company. So the service fee is $75. And this company is really awesome. They have, they'll send you a prepaid label, a mailing label, if it's a small electronic that you can send in to them, or if it's something like a large, 70-inch screen TV, then they'll set something up to come out to the home. And they also have a tech support available. So really cool stuff. I think you guys will be very happy with this product. It kind of goes along with our home services products we've been trying to bring out over the past few years, like our TV mounting, our rekey service. So this kind of goes along with that. We're trying to bring value to the client when they use the home warranty, rather than waiting till something breaks. We want them to be able to get value from the close of escrow date, right away, and not just have, broken down appliances or air conditioning or things that frustrate them, but we want them to have some good stuff too. So we appreciate you guys, and I will put my info in the chat. Just reach out to me if you have questions on this. I will be happy to answer any and all questions and give you more information. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Any questions for Karen?
Nope.
No. All right. Very good. Moving on here, I'm excited to have another special guest with us today. For those of you who've been coming into the office, you may know him from the candy left up front and in the back, and all the goodies that he always leaves for us. And he's been nice enough to bring us some goodies this morning as well. But I'd like to introduce, if you don't know him, Coy Bradstreet. He's with BPI Inspections. And I'm going to actually turn this on. I'm going to turn yours on. And you can just put it somewhere on your shirt, or if you want to walk around or
There we go.
talk to people, and you are on.
Perfect. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me. I appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome.
Some of the handouts I handed out to you guys here, the pink one here, how many people have kids in here? Raise your hand. Kids? Perfect. Okay. My 15-year-old daughter is responsible for making this, so the jokes are hers, not mine. What this is just for fun. Again, you're having a bad day, a good joke by a 15-year-old is going to be on here for you, or there's Sudoku, or I also have some word puzzles and stuff like that. So that's the addition from one of my daughters. I'm a dad to 3 daughters, by the way, 14, 15, and 21. So
You have your hands full.
yes, I do. The other couple handouts I handed out here. Let's see, so everybody can see there we go. This one here, with all of our inspections, we provide a full warranty package. So with every inspection, they will receive a 5-year roof leak protection plan, 90-day home, mold, sewer warranty, lifetime appliance recall check, and we also have a concierge service that will assist your clients in setting up their utilities, plus cable, internet, and alarm system if they choose. The caveat to that is that we do not sell their information, so that your clients will not be getting call after call after call. It's 2 emails. If they don't opt out of emails, they get up to 4 phone calls over a 2-week period. If they answer the first one, they don't get another call. So again, with the clientele that you guys work with, they're busy. Nobody likes robocalls. That was what was important to me in pairing with this warranty company on this. The other on the 18-month home warranty. So if your client decides to go with a 12-month home warranty, and because we did the inspection, if they purchase the home warranty off our website, they're actually able to we'll upgrade it to 18 months for them since we did the home warranty. The nice thing about this warranty is if they can't provide a service provider within the first 72 hours, they allow your client to go out, get their own service provider, because we know how warranties work, and it can be 7, 10 days to 2 weeks before they get a service provider. If the AC goes out here in August, that's not good. So they can use their own service provider. Now the caveat too is they will pay for the service up front. They'll get reimbursed on the backside. So my background is I was a police, I've been a golf pro out here for 10 years. I was a police officer for 15 years. I worked at Bighorn, I worked at the Vintage, so I know the country club and that type of club mentality, if you will. We've inspected everything from $30,000 river shacks out in Blythe to $3 million properties in the Palm Springs area. So I've got 2 other inspectors that work with me on the larger properties. What we do is we do team inspections because your guys' time is valuable. We try and get in and out there as quick as we can and still provide the level of service that your clients deserve on that. And if everybody can grab their bananas, I got a good story here, and it goes to my girls. So again, when my girls were smaller, they watched TV, watched cartoons, and all that good stuff. Well, they were watching one cartoon and I happened to be watching, it was one of those days, I happened to be watching cartoons. And yes, I watch cartoons with my kids, even at 14 and 15. So they're watching Pete the Cat. And in one of the cartoons, he was real messy. He kept throwing banana peels around. And what caught my attention was he grabbed the banana one day, and everybody knows you open it from this side, correct? You open it from this side. Well, so the animator went to the trouble of turning the banana upside down, and Pete the Cat opened it from the other way. And I'm replaying it. And my girl's like, Dad, what are you doing? Dad, what are you doing? I said, look at the banana. They're like, what's wrong with it? I said, no, look at it. They're like, he's opening it the wrong way. I said, I agree. So of course, I didn't have any bananas in the house. So I went to the store and got a banana. Took my girls. I said, I gotta see if this works. So if you take the banana and pinch here at this end, and you take and peel it. And it was that simple. If you guys want to take and peel your bananas, if you want to eat them, that's fine. So it blew me away that everybody's been trained to open it from this side because that's the top.
All right.
And what the reason I say this is we at BPI Inspection think a little bit different. We are here for your clients. We are here for you as agents. We want to promote the agents because it's pretty much, it can be a one-way street with the agents coming to us. We have, what we cover is home inspections, commercial, pools and spas. We do asbestos testing. We do mold testing. We also do sewer scan scopes, and we have same-day reports. We also have super access. So, and the thing is I own the company. I'm not a franchise. So if there's a problem, you're dealing with a boss. You're dealing with a person that's going to address the issue. We do make mistakes. I've replaced an AC system out of my own pocket. I replaced a water heater out of my own pocket for issues that myself or my inspectors would make. So if you guys are looking, I'm sure you guys have somebody to work with on your next inspection. If you haven't used us, I also have a $50 discount for your first inspection with us. Give us a try. I think you'll enjoy us. And if you have any questions, I'll answer those, and I'll be here for a little bit afterwards if you guys have questions about the warranties or anything that we do for you.
Of course.
So on the sewer coverage, when you do the home inspection, do you check that at that time, or is that extra?
Yes, we do check it at that time. So we also have package deals. So with the package deal, we do a home inspection, full infrared of the house, and the sewer scope. 2,000 square feet or less is $799. For 2,000 to 3,500 is $899. And the other thing too is with the sewer guard, if they get a sewer scope done and it comes out as a clean sewer scope, they end up getting a 6-month warranty on their sewer line from the house to the city connection, as opposed to the 3-month that covers the water sewer that comes with the inspection.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, it is an ancillary inspection. It is not a requirement, but it's something that we do offer.
You have a sample report?
Yes, I do. And if everybody has or can either email me, I think I've sent out my cards. If everybody can email me or hand me a business card before I leave today, then I can get that stuff sent out to you guys too. From there.
And what do you charge for mold, like a mold test?
We just changed our prices. I want to say it's $225 for the first 3 samples, and then it's $50 a sample after that. And it's based on the square footage of the house. That 3 samples covers up to 1,600 square feet to 2,000 square feet, and then 800 square feet after that.
So you're doing like you're sampling the air, and then if there's something that we see and notice, that would be something.
Correct. Yeah. So we'll do, we pull an air sample from the exterior to get a measurement there, and then the 2 air samples inside the house. And then if there is something that we see, we also have swabs or tape that we can pull those samples with.
Okay, so those would be additional.
Correct. Yeah, and it all depends. It depends if they want the air sampling, we can do that, or we can do the specific spot testing and stuff too. Any other questions?
You know, one of the things that a lot of agents are dealing with, and we totally understand the position of a home inspector is, but some home inspectors, how can I put this?
You just say.
Not what I'm gonna say.
Oh, I do. I can guess.
They scare the bejeebies out of people. Buyers, sellers, I've seen sellers break down and cry because they've tried so hard to get their home ready for, get it all ready to go. And then the inspector totally destroys it, and it's not things that are actually wrong with the home, it's things that potentially in the future, this could happen.
It's the way
and-
the home inspector delivered the bad news.
Exactly.
And it may not be bad news, and that's a great point. Myself, my other inspector, we're both retired law enforcement. He did 25 years, I did 15. We dealt with people and having their worst day. We can break bad news to people. And again, my other inspector, he flipped homes when he was working. He would buy the home, live in it, flip it, and work it. So he has that background there. My dad and my brother were both general contractors growing up when I was growing up. So I've done roofing, I've done all the different parts of a home inspection too. But when it comes to talking to people, we tell people in charge neutral tone. 99% of the stuff in the home can be fixed, whether it's a 40-year-old Zinsco electrical panel that is a fire hazard and it's going to burn the house down, but nobody, so you guys know. But, and again, from the liability standpoint, we've got to protect ourselves and my company. But again, there hasn't been an issue for the 40 or 50 years it's been there. The seller isn't going to, your buyer's going to want it fixed. Oh, that's a fire hazard, we need to have it fixed. The seller's been fine for all these years. So we articulate that to the client that, hey, especially now with solar, a lot of people are going solar, so they can upgrade those panels, and we give them options. We just don't say, hey, it's a bad electrical panel, get it replaced. We give them the options when it comes to what they can do to either upgrade or fix whatever the issue is. Because again, we want to team with you guys and be a partner to you. We don't want to be a hindrance to your deals, because again, the smoother they go for you, the more times you guys call us and have us come back. So that's how we work.
With that example, so how would you word that to, in the report and or to the?
For an aged, it's so it'll.
A particular
Yep,
panel you talked about,
exactly. The Zinsco, the Sylvania panels. So in the report, it does state that they recommend, we recommend that an electrician come out, sign off for it. Because again, if the electrician's willing to sign off on it, then it's good to go from there. But when we're talking to the client, we'll say, hey, the panel's a Zinsco brand, it's 40+ years old. These have been known to be problematic. Not that we at my company have dealt with them. If you search them online and stuff, you can find issues. But again, probably the easiest way an electrician explained it, one of my buddies explained it to me, was he goes, Coy, you can walk across the road 1,000 times and never get hit by a bus. He says, there's that one time that you can't. He said, it's the same with these electrical panels. It can work for years and years and years, and it just goes. It's a mechanical device. It should be replaced because it expands and contracts with the heat inside there. And that's how we break it down to the client and just explain what happens with that panel and why after a certain amount of time they should be replaceable. A lot of people don't maintain their homes. And again, that's what we do in BPI is we tell people how to maintain their homes and things that can go wrong and stuff from there.
And if they get a warranty on the house, that's usually covered.
Correct. In fact, good point there. I just had a Zinsco panel covered for $1,500. They had our 90-day home warranty, and they bought the 18-month or the 12-month upgraded to the 18-month. It was within the 90 days, so they got $500 toward the 90-day, and they got $1,000. So they got $1,500 to a $2,000 panel on that. And if your clients have problems with the warranty, I got the sales rep for the warranty company, and I also have the director of the warranty company too on speed dial if I need to jump in and deal with it too. Any other questions? And I said, if you guys have any questions at any time, text me, call me, email me, any of the above. Again, we're here to help you guys, whether it's a $3 million home or a $30,000 mobile home. We can do them all. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you have some props here, Linda, from our office, Linda Kroll, said she's worked with him, said you're excellent. So very nice.
I've worked with Michael a couple times also back there. So
Oh,
again, look forward to working with all of you. And again, thank you for your business that you guys have worked with me.
wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for the goodies and thanks for always keeping our FS stocked. It's very kind of you. Okay, we're going to move on here and there I am. Just wanted to say happy birthday. Last month was a little crazy, so I didn't get a chance to share it, but we had a lot of September birthdays. Sonia, Aaron, Melda, Debbie, Tom, Sherilyn, Katie, Patty, Brian, and George. So hope you all had a wonderful birthday. And in this month, we have Magdalena, Lupe, Sherry, Sue, Judy, Josie, and Shelley. So, and keep on. Newbie, congratulations. And when's your birthday?
On the 23rd.
Happy birthday. I'll make sure I add
Birthday
it.
sister.
Really?
Same here. Good deal.
Very nice. Well, happy birthday. Hope you all have a fantastic month and a tremendous year. Okay, let me minimize this
Oh,
just a
let me,
little bit.
I got one more that I handed out. On these ones here, on the key tags, these are good for a free Wendy's Frosty for the rest of the year. So don't let them take it when you go there because they'll try and take it. So
Oh,
put it on your keychain, and I'm gonna one up my marketing next year, and I'm actually gonna put my QR scheduling code on there. So then you'll have it on your key tag, so then when you, hey, we need to hire an inspector, you can just go right there and schedule it, is what my one up's gonna be next year.
I bet the people on Zoom were wishing they would get in. We're getting Frosties. Okay, thank you again so very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, we are moving on. Top 10 year to date as we enter the final stretch. So we have Mark's Real Estate Group, Ann Stark, Wasserman Real Estate Group, George Lopez Team, Kennedy Team, Gary Morlock, Angie Torres, Heidi Helbig, Debbie Bellman, Abraham Bagbadorian, Donna Ambrose, and Josie Thomas are in our top 10. I'm so excited. We're having a really great year, guys. I know the market's a little funny right now, right? It's in kind of a transition, but it's still good. It's still good. And people need roofs over their heads. So we're just going to keep pounding that pavement. We're going to keep getting more listings and we're going to sell them. So I'm very thrilled and excited about what this next 3 months has to bring. So with that said, a couple things. Number one, I jokingly, or except not jokingly, we are excited about the candy and stuff he brings, right? But let me ask you a question. Does that stand out in your mind? When you're thinking of home inspectors, for example, you might think, hey, there's that guy who brings stuff at the front desk. You might not remember the name, right? But you're gonna know to come to the office and go to the front desk and find the business card and say, yeah, I wrote Kissy. You may not always remember the name, but you remember what he did, right? You've always heard the expression, people don't necessarily remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel, correct? So with that said, why should it be any different in your real estate business? Reach out to businesses that you work with. Reach out to companies. Give something, put something at their front desk with your real estate card. Have something to be memorable. By the way, Coy, good job. Good job. That's awesome to do that because it really does work. So that is going to bring you clients, but that act alone is not necessarily going to get you a buyer or seller, is it? It might bring you the introduction. It may get you the appointment, but you providing good service, no, excellent service. We're much better than good, right? Excellent service. You providing knowledge, you being that real estate influencer, that's what's going to develop your business. And part of that is understanding what you're doing, right? And I know that's very scary, especially if you're new here. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Then it's incumbent to read those contracts, read what you're explaining, because the better you understand them, the better you can talk to your clients, the more at ease that they can be. For example, you're working with a buyer, and a lot of buyers, some of them have bought several properties, some of them haven't bought a property in years, right? But it's important to sit down and at the initial consultation, and this is where I think a lot of agents miss the boat, is they schedule an appointment, they immediately take their client out and start showing properties, and then they don't hear from that client anymore, and they're wondering, well, I don't know what's going on. I called them, I sent them properties and I'm not sure what they're doing. And what ended up happening is that client found another property with another realtor and you lost them. And now you're just like crushed, right? So think about anytime you're working with a client, that buyer is just as important as that listing presentation. And what you provide at that outset is going to determine whether they're going to stay with you or not stay with you, correct? So that initial meeting might be, if it can be arranged, just a one-on-one. Let's sit down, let's talk. Let me hear you. Let me hear what's important to you. Let me see what we can do based on our conversation. And follow up, show them your value, give them materials that are going to help them make good decisions, but also explain the process, explain the timeline, let them know what the contingencies are, let them know what they can expect. You know, I always say, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time, exactly. And an escrow is an elephant. It really is, and it can be very overwhelming for a lot of people. So when I would sit down with a client, I would really want to make sure that they knew, let's just breathe here, because they walk into a $750,000 property, $500,000 property, and all they're thinking is, how much is this going to cost me? That's what's going on in their mind. What they need to be thinking is, what is the process and what is going to be expected every step of the way? So the first conversation might be, you know what? Let's just put a number on a piece of paper on the purchase agreement. Let's open negotiations. We don't even know if you can get this house yet, right? So let's open negotiations and see how that goes. And once negotiations are open, maybe you come to a conclusion where, okay, here, this is an agreed upon, a ratified agreement. So now we're going to open escrow. Yes, you're going to move your earnest money deposit in there, but you're still not locked in. Your deposit's safe because you have a contingency period. And I love the new purchase contract. How many of you have done the new purchase contract class already? Not yet. Oh, you're in for a treat. Our 10-page contract is now 16 pages, but I just finished our certification class for CAR as a trainer. But what they did is they took all the contingencies, you know, in our current purchase agreement, you really have to read paragraph by paragraph to see how many days or where. And what they did is they took every contingency in term and moved it to the first 3 pages in a grid. So you can very easily go line by line and see what all the contingencies really are. I can't tell you the number of times I'll ask an agent, so what are the contingencies that remain? Oh, there are no contingencies. What do you mean there's no contingencies? Are they all removed? Well, not yet. Well, what's left? And I mean, there's a lot of contingencies. I mean, if you really look at the contract, there's a lot of contingencies, and most people, when they come to you, especially buyer investors, yeah, I'll write an offer, no contingencies, all cash. Are you doing a home inspection? Well, sure. Well, that's a contingency, right? So understand the prelim, the CC&Rs, HOAs, I mean, there's a lot of contingencies that come into play. So that's going to be on the first part. So it's nice to be able to explain to the client, we have these contingencies. We're going to do our inspections. We're going to find out what that house is all about. And then if you love it, if you're happy, you might do a repair request. The seller may or may not agree to it. At that point, I'm going to look at you and say, are you happy? Do you want to move forward? Or do you want to find another property? You're not committed until you said, I'm ready to close. Now you'll sign that contingency removal form, which signals the seller, we're ready to rock and roll, right? So break it down into little pieces. Let them see your value. Give them information that they need to make an educated decision on whether or not they want to open negotiations and move forward. But part of it is understanding the purchase agreement. Now, question, and these are, I just put a few here because these are the ones I get a lot. And I just want to play with it a little bit and really make you understand what it means. So in the purchase agreement, buyer indicated that the offer is all cash. Can the buyer legally change his or her mind after acceptance and secure a loan?
Or these have to agree.
Yes, all parties, well, not exact, almost. What the purchase agreement actually says is if the buyer chooses, in a nutshell, and we can read this, sellers relying on buyer's representation of the type of financing specified, including but not limited to all cash, amount of down payment, contingent, non-contingent loan. Seller has agreed to a specific closing date, purchase price, and to sell to buyer in reliance on buyer's covenant concerning financing. Buyer shall pursue the financing specified in the agreement. Seller has no obligation to cooperate with buyer's efforts to obtain any financing other than that specified in the agreement, and the availability of any such alternate financing does not excuse buyer from the obligation to purchase the property, and close. So basically what that means is buyer stated financing, buyer says, I'm paying cash for this property. 3 days later, buyer says, I talked to my CPA and it would behoove me to get a loan. So the buyer now gets a loan. The seller can't get in the way and really, block that or prevent that. But what the buyer needs to understand is he's expected to close on that loan in 30 days per the contract, right? So if they change it, they just need to understand they can't necessarily, unless the seller agrees, they cannot just say, oh, I decided to switch to a loan, so I'm gonna need to get an extension to close. Seller has no obligation to agree to that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so next question. Any questions on that?
So if they put, because there's people out there that are writing offers cash
Yes,
intentionally to get their offer
yes.
accepted.
And that is why buyer stated financing is an important paragraph.
But
Because I
so,
see that.
so you're saying though, that they can change it?
But they're expected to close.
I understand that, part,
Yes.
but they can change it without the seller's
Technically,
permission.
yes. But if they have other deadlines in that contract, and if they don't meet those deadlines, now they're in breach and the seller can do a notice to perform and cancel. Okay? Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, next question. Seller completes the disclosure package and it is sent to the buyer's agent in escrow. Subsequently, the dishwasher breaks or something happens in the property. 1, does the seller have to disclose this? 2, if so, what form is used? And 3, what about if it's something the home inspector finds that the seller was not aware of? Now what needs to happen? So it doesn't need, does that need to be disclosed? Yes, of course. I think we're all in agreement there. If so, what form do we use?
Whether it's a TDS or the SDQ, right?
Yeah,
we
yes,
brought
or an addendum to that
To that.
document,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
And then what about if something that the home inspector finds? What has to happen now? Yes, that is true. But the sellers, are they obligated to go back now and redisclose? No. Correct, correct. And the way the purchase contract is written here, in the event seller or you, prior to close of escrow, becomes aware of adverse conditions materially affecting the property or any material inaccuracy in disclosures, information, or representations previously provided to buyer, seller shall promptly provide a subsequent or amended disclosure or notice in writing covering those items. However, a subsequent amended disclosure shall not be required for the conditions and material inaccuracies of which buyer is otherwise aware or which are disclosed in reports provided to buyer during a home inspection or other. So something's found out, seller doesn't necessarily know that. He now has that report. It will have to be disclosed to future buyers should this one not close, but he doesn't have to disclose anything further. Questions on that? Okay, that's a rocking and rolling here. Okay, all disclosures were sent to buyer's agent within the 7-day time period in the RPA, except for the listing agent's AVID. Right? How many times does that happen where we're always asking the listing agent, send me your AVID, send me your AVID, send me your AVID. The listing agent sends it to the buyer's agent on day 17 with a contingency removal form. Here's my AVID, here, sign off on all the contingencies. How soon does the buyer have to sign and remove the inspection contingency?
17 days.
They get 5 additional days, right?
No.
Exactly.
5?
5.
I figure we started.
Yeah, 3 if it's personally delivered to the buyer. But if it's mailed or emailed, it's 5 days according to the contract. Now, where you might be thinking
Yeah.
is, what if they send it on day 10? You know, it's due in 7 days.
Yeah.
But if they send it on day 10,
Then it starts over?
do they have, how much, when do they have to have their contingencies removed? 17 days, absolutely. Because the delivery on day 10, they still have 5 days to review it, which makes it day 15, they're still within their 17 days. Make sense?
It's the original 17 days.
The original 17 days. How, but if they deliver it day 14, 15, 16, and it doesn't give them 5 days to review it, they have that additional time. Okay?
Okay.
So, and that's the biggest one, is the listing agent's agent. I want you all to understand, when you are doing seller disclosures, that includes your agent. On the buyer side, no, you don't get to extend any inspection times by holding up your own disclosure. But on the listing side, it's incumbent upon you to make sure you get that out with seller disclosures. Okay? Okay. And then this is paragraph 10A7 is the one that talks about the time periods and the 5 days. Okay. This is kind of important, and I know we don't talk about it enough, and I know this is probably one of the areas that a lot of agents get confused. Tax withholding. And everybody goes, "Ugh." So what do we need to consider when foreign is a seller, when seller is a foreign investor, and what documents do we need to secure with respect to withholding? Partly. So, and that's exactly the reason. So just in a nutshell, we'll talk about what this all means. So you've got a foreign investor, somebody who owns, they live in Canada or another country. They want to sell real estate here. First, if you're getting a listing and they're not, and they're foreign owners, please ask if they have a TIN number. That TIN number is critical. They cannot sell the property without it, okay? And sometimes that could take a couple months to get. So you get an offer and they don't have a TIN number, you're scrambling and escrow's having to continue. So make sure that's an important thing. But here's what happens. So escrow normally needs to withhold funds, right? And if for whatever reason escrow does not withhold funds, they get their money, their capital gains, all that good stuff, and they go back to their country. IRS, franchise state, they're thinking, hey, where's our money? Right? And they didn't get it from the seller, so guess who they go after per the contract?
Buyer.
The buyer. So now that the buyer gets this lovely notice from the IRS and the franchise state and says, you now owe us all these capital gains that the seller should have paid. And buyers are saying, whoa, my agent never told me this, right? So guess who the buyer goes after? The agent. Now, because you guys are so much better trained up there, you will never let this happen, because what you know to do is to A, get the seller's affidavit that is either the declaration saying I qualify for the non-withholding, or if they don't, if they're a foreign investor, they have to, escrow needs to withhold, right? So we either need the AS, which is the seller's affidavit. If we cannot get an AS, we got to get escrow to sign a QS. That's the qualified substitute, saying we have and we're going to do the appropriate withholding. Okay. If you cannot get that, I recommend you at least have an email in your file instructing escrow to withhold. Because when the IRS and Franchise Tax Board goes after the buyer goes after the buyer's agent, now you can say, here's my get out of jail free card. I instructed escrow to withhold. If escrow didn't withhold, it's on them, not me. Does that make sense? Now, many agents say, oh, escrow does a first step. Wonderful. So the IRS is taking care of, what about California? FERC is federal. There's state also. So that's the one key element that you have to make sure, do I have an AS or do I have a QS, right? Or do I have some confirmation that escrow is withholding? The only change in that is if the buyer is buying it as their personal residence and the price is less than $300,000, then you can do a buyer's affidavit and he's clear. Yes, Robert.
Now, would that be on the closing statement from escrow showing the tax, the withheld?
It will
Because-
show on the
Because
closing
that comes
statement.
to us, so
It does.
if we don't see that on there, so are.
If you
we still
represent the seller.
Right,
Right.
are we responsible then?
Well, you don't want to wait till it closes to make sure this is taken care of, because once it closes, then it's too late. You want to make sure your ducks are in a row before closing. And here's what the contract says, just so you're aware. Within the time specified in 14A, to avoid required withholding, seller shall deliver to buyer, not may, shall deliver to buyer or qualified substitute an affidavit sufficient to comply with federal and California withholding laws, and that's either the form AS or the QS. Okay, so this isn't a, well, maybe we will, maybe we won't. They need to provide that. Okay,
So you could ask the escrow for an estimated closing statement prior to, so you
Yes,
see.
And that
if there-
would be on
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, then you can question it.
exactly. Normally I just get on the phone and say, hey,
Yeah.
you received seller's affidavit, are you withholding, and then you can document your file accordingly. But that's an important part, obviously. You can see why. Any questions on this piece?
So it's only on the seller side.
Well, if you representing the buyer, you want to make sure it's being taken care of.
Well,
Either you
otherwise they're gonna
have
have to
a seller's affidavit, a qualified substitute, or you instruct to withhold. Those are your options.
So it would be a good idea. Then that's, it's not.
Yeah, that's, he's paying, he's not getting money.
Right.
Okay.
It would be a good idea to have the AS on the file.
Yes, it's currently not marked as a required form. I am telling you, it is best practice to get it though. Okay? We're working on a checklist. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Okay, here's a big one. Can seller cancel an escrow?
No, that cost.
Yes. Good answer. Maybe. Maybe. But they just can't unilaterally cancel an escrow because they decided not to sell. Okay, so unless the seller has a contingency, so you're taking a listing, it's super important you have this conversation with the seller. And sometimes, we get so excited, we're getting a listing, we forget to ask some very important questions. Like, number one, where are you going? If they don't know where they're going, you need to have a heart to heart with them, because what's going to happen when their home sells? If they can't find another property, they're going to say, well, I can't sell my home, I have nowhere to go. And if you say, well, you can't cancel for that reason because you forgot to do the seller purchase of replacement property contingency, they're going to be very angry with you, right? And rightfully so, because you didn't do your job. So have that conversation with the seller. Where are you going? Does this need to be contingent upon you finding another property? Because if so, that's fine. All that does is give you an opportunity when an offer comes in, have you found another home? If the answer is yes, then that's not a problem. But if that becomes a problem, now you have a legal contingency within which to cancel. Okay? If you don't have the seller purchase of replacement property as a contingency, the only other way a seller can cancel is if the buyer breaches. So the buyer has not removed contingencies, right? Seller can do a notice to buyer to perform. And if the buyer still doesn't perform in those couple of days that are allowed, now the seller can legally cancel. But the seller decided, changed his mind, can't, whatever the thing is, he's got company coming and he wants to just take it off the market. He's in escrow, it doesn't matter, right? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so that's really important because this probably comes up at least 3 times a week. I'm not kidding you. So it's super important. That's why I wanted to cover some of these things. I want you to understand what they mean and what we can do. And if you go here, continuation of contingency. So let's say the buyer has not removed all their contingencies. What does that mean to the buyer, right? It just means they haven't been removed. The contingencies have not been removed yet. So even after the time specified, that 17 days is usually the default, and before seller cancels, buyer retains the right in writing to either remove the remaining contingencies, cancel this agreement based on a remaining contingency. Once a buyer's written removal of all contingencies is delivered to seller, seller may not cancel this agreement. So once they have full contingency removal, and this just came up, buyer has removed all contingencies, and then the buyer said something to the seller, and seller says, I don't like that, I want to cancel. Well, you can't, Mr. Seller, you cannot. Buyer's already removed all contingencies, okay? Seller right to cancel, this is paragraph 14B1, and this explains. If by the time specified, buyer does not deliver to seller removal of contingencies or cancellation of this agreement, seller can do a notice to buyer to perform and then cancel. So those are the only ways seller can cancel. Any questions on that? Okay, awesome. So just a little update, right? Was that helpful?
Yes.
Yes. Couple things pull out and because you know what, these are questions that your client may have. And I want you to feel confident in being able to explain this. What does this mean? If the sellers are saying, well, I'm just going to cancel, you can very calmly, and remember, guys, think of the duck in the water. You're just floating along in escrow, and underneath your feet are pedaling like nobody's business. But you got to remain calm because your clients will feed off of you. And if you go, oh my gosh, this is just happening, your clients are going to freak out. And pretty soon everybody's freaking out. And the phones are ringing. And oh my gosh, just breathe. Let's look at the contract and talk about what really we can and cannot do. Okay, because if you remain calm, chances are we'll be able to negotiate or work through the obstacles. I always say escrow is like track. If anybody ever ran track, and remember the hurdles in track, escrow is a bunch of hurdles. I mean, every once in a while you'll have that one glorious escrow that it's accepted, disclosure's done, money transferred, it magically closes, and everybody's happy.
Hallelujah.
But most of the time, we're running, see a hurdle, bam, and we fall right over because we're thinking, oh my gosh, what do we do now? So our job is to grab your client by the hand and help them over each hurdle and let them know, I got you, don't worry, I've got you, and I'll help you over these hurdles. And let them know it's normal. These things come up all the time in escrow. So whatever it is, our team, we have such a great team in this company. Somebody is available to help you at all times to help your client get over these hurdles. So that's really important, and that'll help you in your first meeting with your buyers, explaining that process of what to expect and giving them some peace of mind that, hey, these things happen. There are issues that will happen. My job is to help you through them and ultimately get the home you want. Okay. Okay. Now, we do have buyers that want homes, but there are no homes. We all know that. And how many of you have already put all your buyers into buy side? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. We can really help your buyer and help each other if you do. And so I'm going to show you where to go. And I mean that with
I
all
have
love.
gotten better about it, but other agents aren't responding like, oh, we have the perfect property for your buyer.
Okay, so what we have here is a couple of things that will really help your buyers. But one of the main things is buy side. So if you click on buy side, and I don't know if you've had a chance to really explore this, but I would love to see everybody get your buyers in this for two reasons. Number one, it'll help us get more listings, which in turn helps your buyer have more inventory to look at, right? So in buy side, if you click on add a buyer now, I don't want you to be afraid. We're not taking your buyer information. That's not, let me show you. We're checking on information. How many bedrooms is your buyer looking for, right? bathrooms, square footage, what kind of garage. Pick the stuff that they're looking for right there. We want what your buyer is looking for information. And so now when we go through here and we finish it out and we hit all that good stuff, when we do a buy-side report, a buyer market analysis, that's the real-time market report, right? It is able to go in and search around. When you're putting that listing in, it'll search for how many buyers are currently looking for a property like the one we're doing a market analysis on. And it'll say there are 10 current people looking for a property just like this one. So now we go to a listing appointment because these are true numbers. These are not made up things. These are accurate figures. So now we go to a listing appointment and we say, Mr. Seller, we currently have 10, 20, 30 buyers. And right now, my goodness, we should probably have 50, 75 with, there's a lot of buyers out there wanting properties, but just waiting because there's no homes out there. So if we can show them, we currently have 30 buyers that are looking for a property just like yours. Let's get it listed and get it marketed right now. Do you think the likelihood of you getting that listing just raises tenfold? Yes, that's the big question that they have is who do you have to buy my property, right? Do you have a current pipeline? Now you can show yes. So now you come back, you put your listing into buy side and everybody gets notified, including that buyer who's looking, not with the listing agent's information, it stays with your information only, right? So we can work together, help each other. I'd love to see you get your buyer pipeline in. And maybe you're thinking, gosh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do this. I understand. You can either hire a teenager to get it in there for you, or just say, I'm gonna put 2 a day in for the next week, right? I'm gonna put 5 a day in for the next week. How do you eat an elephant? Right? Set little goals to get these things in there, because when you're looking at the big picture, sometimes it's so overwhelming because there's a lot to do. Break it down into, I'm just gonna do this much every single day, and pretty soon it's gonna be done and your business is really gonna be rocking. So I think that will really help you. What do you guys think? Do you think that would help?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go back there. All right. Current slide. Oh, okay. So marketing, this is on the banner of the VAC. If you need to, or if you'd like to place an order, and I recommend you always have your supplies. I know I'm really sorry. Something happened. It didn't record last week's meeting. I'm sad because I missed it too. But if you want to place a marketing order, you have 2 options. You can opt from the VAC, click on this banner, and you'll go to an online order form, and you can just say, I want, if you want listing presentations, be specific though, because if you want them bound, say, I want them bound with a linen cover, or I want them bound with a hardcover. Otherwise, you're going to get the loose pages, because a lot of agents like to include their bio and maybe their sold, and they like to customize it. So they'll send them separately. So whatever you want, just be clear on it, or you can call this 1-800 number and they'll take care of you. And if you have any issues, let me know and I'll take care of it, okay? Calendar over the next week, next Tuesday. I'm super excited. Many of you have asked for this social media workshop at 9:30. We're doing this with Ryan and Dwayne. Ryan is like Mr. Social Media. He's really young. He knows all that stuff. He's going to be really great at it. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the different social media platforms, how to promote yourself, how to set up your pages. And so that'll be next week, and I'm super excited about it. That's the 12th. On Thursday, the 14th, Rick Baruti is going to be live here in this office. And he is going to do a 1-day success series. I highly recommend you come. You're going to walk away knowing scripts. Whatever questions that you may have, maybe you have some obstacles, or maybe you have some fears of picking up the phone and making calls because you're not sure what to say, or whatever it is that's preventing you from actually moving forward. Be here. He is a professional coach, worked for the Mike Ferry organization for years. He will help you with your business. And a lot of times I look at coaching like this. I probably have gone to every Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, Joe Stump, Mike Ferry, Danielle Kennedy. I mean, all the greats in real estate, right? And I look at it as a buffet. You may not like exactly how they're said, but you're gonna make it you, your style, how you're gonna say, you're gonna take the wording and you might say, oh, I like what he said, I like what she said, I like what he said, and you're gonna gather this all together and you're gonna put together this amazing, and I hate saying script because it sounds so cheesy, but everything is, guys. And once you practice it over and over and make it you, it comes out so natural that it's no longer a script, it's just you speaking, okay? And that's the goal. So that's 9:30 to noon, and then a lunch break, then coming back 1 to 3. That's next Thursday, the 14th. On the following week, Mark Stark will be here live in our office. I'm so excited for our Valley-wide meeting, and that's on a Wednesday, not a Tuesday. Difference is his schedule allowed that. So Wednesday, October 20th, 10 a.m. You definitely want to be here for that. And then don't forget our holiday party on Friday, December 10th. That's going to be super awesome. And you'll be getting a save the date shortly. Okay. Now, you're on. And here, actually, let me just give you this. There you go.
Just a quick reminder, I know I've been getting questions about farming and how to get started with that. I have access to Melissa's calendar where I can schedule you guys one. So you guys can see me if you want to go ahead and do so. And then also with Sky Slope, we have a master class that's going to be taking place tomorrow morning. I highly emphasize that you guys go ahead and take the class if you haven't done so, because I'm getting a lot of questions on how to set up a template, how to go about doing that. And they go step by step, because the last thing you want is you're on a listing presentation and you don't have your template presented and there's a mess and we're all scrambled. So more often.
Yes.
Sign up for that.
Yes.
And that is pretty much it.
And how do they sign up for that?
You go on Sky Slope and there's a little help person up at the top, and then you go in, and once you click on that, it'll tell you how to become a master, and in 15 minutes you click on that and you can register for the class that day.
Let me just show you real quick, because I know most of us are very visual. We're gonna go to Sky Slope.
Yes.
I stuttered. Skyslope.com. And go to login. Okay. And then if you look right up here, this person that looks like she's got an ear thing on, that's your help person. If you click on her, here's my shortcut, easy way. We go to search, we type in master, and search. And Sky Slope forms master classes. If you click on that, look here's all the dates. And they're every Wednesday at 10. That's September, October, November, December. You can click on as many as you want, but when you attend one, they will send you the video link so you can watch it over and over. It's super easy. If you're not doing your forms through Sky Slope now, you might be wasting more time than you need to be wasting, because you don't have to go to zip forms and go back to Sky Slope. Sky Slope, literally, you can pull in all the zip forms. You can you have all the information is put right there in your file. And because of that, when all your forms are completed, it'll say, do you want to send for signatures? You click yes. All the spots are already marked for you. You don't have to go in, and except for on our affiliated business. That's the only one you really have to fill manually. And it'll send it out. When everything's signed, it goes right back into your file. It is super sweet, super easy, and I strongly encourage you to take the class and get warm and fuzzy with it, because this is one thing as a busy realtor you'll be using daily. Okay, so thank you. Anything else?
Yeah.
No.
Can you
Do they record these at all? If there's
Yes.
no way on a Wednesday, I can.
Yeah, it's recorded. All you do is just register for the class. They send you a Zoom link and you log into the Zoom. Yeah, I think you have to at least log in order for it to, for
Just
them.
to show you
Well,
you're
just
there.
go, yeah, if you register, then I think they'll send you the links after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the recorded class, so you'll be good.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, let me see, where are we? I think that's pretty much it from current slide. Schedule one-on-one time anytime, just click on my link here at Calendly, plugs in once. Okay.
Okay, I'm coming to the end of a 1031 for my Canadian buyers. I sold their home in Cathedral City. About 800,000 short-term rental. It's gotta have a swimming pool and it's gotta be pretty much turnkey. If it came furnished, even better. Also, George has clients looking for a short-term rental, probably more in the Home Springs area for, but of course, that's
To buy,
Yeah, to
he's looking to
buy.
buy.
For
That allows for
1.25. And then Tanya has one. George just emailed to me. About 1 million, about 24 to 2,800 square feet, 3-bedroom golf community, high ceilings. They would like to be looking to Indian Wells. And they'll be getting a loan to purchase this property, but those are applied for those 3 home states.
Awesome. Okay, any other plugs to us? I am super excited. We do have one on Caravan. And it is in Bermuda Dunes Country Club. I'm passing out the listing information right now.
It's a beautiful home. It's George Lopez team. It's George's listing. It's got amazing views that will not be blocked because the homes behind it are a lower level. You can see out to the fantasy screens, you know, the light for the casino, and you can see the traffic going over the hill to life in Arizona and such. It's really a special home, and you can probably even see the Fantasy Springs fireworks from your backyard.
Cool.
And it's a really nice home.
Yes, yes, it's in Bermuda Dunes Country Club on Stardust Place. The price is $750,000, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. I am super excited to start caravanning. We, of course, you know, will be respectful and you know, make sure you take your hand sanitizer and such. So we stay within protocols to keep everyone safe. And I think next caravan, I'm not sure, we'll see, I gotta look after the, so I don't know how long that's gonna be. But our next caravan will, I think we're gonna be in PGA West. So if you have a listing in that area or one coming up, let me know and we'll put them all together because it'll be nice to knock them out all at once there. Any questions, comments, needs? Okay, then let's just take a quick couple minutes and what we're gonna do is we can caravan, I'll lead. George has our names at the gate. We're gonna go straight down Cook to Hoadley and we'll avoid the DMP traffic. We'll turn right onto Hoadley and take it past Washington down to Bermuda Dunes Country Club, which is up gonna be on the right. And left on the first left, right inside the gate. So but we can follow each other and let's have some fun. I'm so happy. This has been over 1.5 years.
I think George will probably have the gate open already because it's a gate within a gate. But if not, it's down 1001.
In a minute. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm trying to get back to my screen here. Where is my screen? Did I get somehow logged out?
Here, let me give you my card.
What did I do?
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Huh. Okay,
Yes.
I don't know what I did.
Thanks, Gina. Bye.
Thank you, Gina. Have a great day.
Wait, here you are. There we go. I was trying to find us. Okay, let me make this big again. Let me just stop sharing. There's everyone. Okay, thanks, guys. Glad.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Bye, guys.
Stop recording.